I'm Linda Shantz, and I am a fine artist specializing in horses. Well, my day starts with the horses themselves, actually. I'm fortunate enough to have my own horses, so I've got some daily inspiration out there. So the first thing I'll do is, turn them out, and often I'll spend some time just watching them and taking some photos. I'll post things to my social media accounts about the horses and such, and then after that, I, again, have stalls and such to do. And once I actually get back into the house for some work time, the morning is usually done. I'm doing administrative things like, checking emails and answering emails and inquiries. If I have artwork to ship out, I might package things up and make a trip to the post office. And generally my afternoons are when I paint. So I'll spend the afternoon. I usually have more than one project on the go. So that's what I do with my afternoons before the horses call me back again. Obviously, being an artist, you're self-employed, so it's important to be able to budget your own time, to work by yourself. The ability to meet deadlines is important. The worst thing you can say to an artist is, oh, there's no hurry for that, because we work best with deadlines. I certainly do. So if you don't have one that the client provides, like a birthday or holiday or something like that, then it's really important to pick your own, basically, and set your own deadlines. Flexibility is important as well. You deal with a lot of different people from different backgrounds, and they have a different idea of what they want. So it's important to be able to roll with that. Basically, I've had situations where the timeline, the deadline they had wasn't one I could meet, so we were able to come up with a compromise for that, where they still ended up with a portrait and we're happy in the end. And then patience is important too, for the same reason. You're dealing with a variety of different people, and sometimes it takes someone a while to come to a decision on what they want for the portrait, and the different pieces that you need for that as well. I think the biggest one for most artists is marketing. It doesn't come naturally to most of us. We'd rather be doing the painting, but marketing is vital. So that's a big one. Communication is sometimes difficult, not only because a lot of artists are introverts, but again, because you deal with such a variety of people from different backgrounds. And, your preferred way to do things might be through email, but there are still some people who want to go by phone. So you kind of need to be flexible that way to help the person get all the information they need to move forward with their portrait. Well, like a lot of horse girls, shall we say, I always drew and painted when I was younger, but I never gave up that passion. I always continued to do it. And often when I was in younger grades, I had kids from older grades coming to get me to do horses for projects and such, to draw their horses for them. But when I was older, when I was in my early 20s, a family friend who was an artist who did commissions of houses said to me, you could do this. You could make some money from this by doing portraits. So at that point, I started looking into it, and I started with a little ad in the local buy and sell paper back when there were such things. And it just started from there. The most important thing is to treat it as a business from the start. It is a business, and you do have to do all of the other stuff. Unless you have someone, a partner or someone who can help you out, you do need to do the marketing. You need to know how to do your own taxes, at least, again, until you get to the point where you're making enough that you can pay someone else to do it. You need to do bookkeeping and such. So it's worth taking a business course of some sort, and marketing courses. And obviously there are lots of things these days, free things you can look at on YouTube and such, but it's worth spending the time researching all of that. Photography is a really good skill to have in this, because a lot of times, despite the fact that everyone has a cell phone camera these days, and not always do you get photos given to you that you can work with. The person themselves might think, oh, that's a great photo, but you're like, that's going to be difficult. So if you can offer that service, it's often a really good thing to have. It's important to consider multiple income streams. You might start off, just doing portraits, but once you have work that you've done, often you can do note cards and prints, things like that. You might start writing books, maybe. I'm also an author, and I use my own artwork for my covers, so that's a good thing to do. Another artist friend of mine does art books and art instruction books. So you need to always be thinking of other ways, because portraits kind of come and go. They're usually the holiday season, you're very busy, and then other times of the year you might be less. And it's also important to never stop learning too, especially if you're self-taught like I am. It's important to always be taking workshops or studying others' artwork and that sort of thing, so that you continue to grow as an artist all the way through. Being able to produce a portrait of someone's beloved horse is always the most satisfying part. A number of times I'll find myself doing memorial portraits of horses, so it just means a lot to be able to give that person a memory that they can hang on to help them have a tribute to that horse. I always say that this is one job where if the client cries when you present the portrait, it means you've done your job well. Well, thanks for watching. I hope this gives you an idea of what it's like to be an equine artist, and whatever you choose to do in an equine field, good luck.